What's going on, guys? It's Gunna here and I'm back with another Hades video, and in this video I'm going to be focusing on strategies to help you defeat the final boss in Hades at the moment, which is the Hydra. Now, when I first took on this boss, it was a bit of a nightmare. Loads of things were popping up on the screen all over. I struggled to find my character in all the mayhem, but over time I've come up with some really good strategies and I'm pretty much able to beat the Hydra every single time I face her now. So I'm hoping I can share some of those tips and improve your gameplay at the same time. So the most difficult thing about this boss battle isn't actually the Hydra, it's the adds that spawn at different life increments. So at 75% you'll get some snake heads spawn out of lava, then again at 50%, and then finally at 25%. Now the 75% spawns are pretty easy, there's only a couple of them, then at 50% it gets a little bit more difficult with a few more, and then finally at 25% health loads of these adds spawn and the whole screen gets taken up. You can barely see your character and it can become pretty tricky, so I'm hoping these tips are going to be able to help you out. So here I am at 75% and two adds have just spawned. You can see the snakes here at the bottom of the screen. The best advice so far is just kill these guys as quickly as possible. You don't want to be taking too much damage at these early stages because you're going to need that health for later on in the fight. Things like the health that drops up either side of the wall, you want to make sure you're only using that if you're going to get the maximum amount of heal out of it. So don't be going over there and picking it up if you've only lost 5 life, because then you're obviously not going to get that maximum heal. So just dodge, dash, avoid as much of this damage as possible. When there's one snake left, you can try and keep it at range. There's no point rushing in, and just be aware of projectile missiles that the Hydra will continually fire out, and also the ground pound move where it looks like Hydra headbutts the floor. You want to just stay out of that circle. It's quite easily done, and you can always take cover behind the wall or use your dash ability just to stay out of the way of those missiles. So when you manage to get rid of the adds, you'll find it's you against the Hydra again. Now, one of the tactics I use throughout this video is a very simple one but extremely effective. What I'm doing here is I'm actually dashing out, charging forward after the missile attack. So I'm going to hide behind the wall, and as the missiles come in, I'm going to wait for the last couple of projectiles just to make their way through the wall. I'm going to dash forward twice and I'm going to get in some clean hits on Hydra, and then normally Hydra will do the ground pound move where it headbutts the floor. You can dash out of the way of that as well and then jump in again for even more attacks. Here I go again, dashing forward. I'm getting in a couple of attacks, waiting for that ground pound. There it is. I'm going to dash in again and get a couple of more attacks in. Very simple and very effective. Here I am again, exactly the same build, exactly the same fight, and I'm really focusing in on that dash attack and waiting for those missiles. So behind the wall, waiting for the missiles, got a little cheeky hit in there. Here come the missiles. I'm going to dash out before the last two land, and the reason I'm waiting before the last two land is because sometimes those last two missiles can actually creep through the wall and hit you. So you want to get out there a little bit before the missiles come, get those dashes in, get those attacks in, and as you can see we're at the 50% phase now. So with the 50% phase it becomes a little bit more difficult. We've now got 4 adds instead of the 2. So what we want to do, we want to clear one side first to make sure we've got a bit of breathing room behind the wall so that we can avoid Hydra's missiles. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to clear one side. So I'm aiming for this top snake. I managed to kill the snake. You'll also see these skeletons that spawned. They spawn out of the lava, so you can actually kill the lava to stop those guys spawning, which is a good tactic. Just be careful of those lava splashes as well, you take damage from that. So I'm going to go back to the one on its own, get in a few attacks here, trying to keep it as ranged as much as possible. This was actually a really poor sword build, so I've got barely any DPS here, so you'll notice me hitting for barely anything over 100. So I'm just taking my real time to kill these things. So it's actually a really good example of how to do this boss with a low DPS build. So once I've killed one side, I'm going to start on the other side. Going to keep the skeletons away because they do a fair bit of damage. I'm staying behind the wall to avoid the projectiles. Just keeping an eye on a Hydra because I don't want to get hit with that headbutt ability, that ground pound. And you'll notice at the bottom of the screen there, one of the lavas spawns and turns into a skeleton. So I've got that to deal with now. Just throwing my cast and missing rather pathetically. And final skeleton is down. I can take out these lava spawns to stop more skeletons spawning, and there you go, 50% phase done, and I only lost a little bit of health. So here I'm going to jump forward to the 25% mark. It's exactly the same build. I'm still with the sword, and as you can see, there's a hell of a lot more snakes that have spawned. So what I'm trying to do here is go to one side, and just like the 50% mark, kill one side first. So I've been very fortunate, and 3 heads here have all grouped together, so I'm able to get in a lot of DPS and damage all 3 at the same time. So I want to clear one half as quickly as possible to give myself space and protection behind the wall. So as you can see, just about to kill the last snake on the left hand side, so that now I can hide behind the wall from the projectiles. I'm going to take my time with the one at the bottom. Don't need to lose unnecessary life. I'm going to throw some of the worst casts you'll ever see. I'm just going to dash in and out here to try and get some quick damage in. Dash to avoid these projectiles. Make sure I avoid that ground pound. And there's another snake down. So as soon as one side is clear, then this just becomes as easy as the 75% side. So there's only 2 again. Another terrible cast, I might say. Ridiculous. So 2 snakes left. Just going to make sure I don't take damage. Going to dash to avoid those attacks. Group them up if possible to get double attacks in. Grab my cast. Didn't have a particularly powerful cast, but every little bit of damage helps. Just using a ranged attack there, my special, to stay at a safe distance. Final skeleton here. Skeleton snake. And it's down. So that was the hard phase done. Didn't lose too much life again. So here we are at the last phase now. So I've just got to kill the Hydra. There's going to be no more ads. And this part is very, very simple. Once you get the combinations and you know all the attack sequences, you shouldn't really lose any health here unless you're being a bit impatient. So as I said before, hiding behind the wall, I'm going to wait for the missiles to come. I'm going to dash out before they arrive. Then I'm going to wait for the ground pound. You just need to be aware that in the final stage it's 3 pounds and not 1 or 2. So you need to wait for that 3rd pound before you dash in. Here I am behind the wall again, dashing forward, getting in my attacks. Here comes the pound, I got hit by that one. Gonna wait for all 3, dash in and get some more attacks in. And then once you've got a few attacks in, go hide behind my wall because more missiles will be approaching. Here come the missiles, and it's just rinse and repeat from here. Very, very simple. Avoid that ground pound. Throw in a few casts if you feel like it. Gonna wait for one more set of missiles. There's the double dash, there's the attacks. Gonna avoid that headbutt. Wait for the 3rd one, jump in, and bam, there's your kill. Easy as anything. Okay, here I am with a pretty good bow build. I'm going to be following exactly the same tactics. I'm going to be dashing in twice after the projectiles and getting in some hits. I'm going to be waiting for the ground pound and then dashing in again. And the reason I'm doing it even with the bow is because I had the boon that gave increased damage to enemies that are near you. So I want to get in close, get those bow attacks in, and we're at the 25% stage already. Now, I approach this a little bit differently with the bow. Because I get caught in a few situations where I need to move from side to side to avoid damage, I'm kind of just hitting random ones at the moment, but I am aiming to clear the right side first. But you will see me go over to the left side and just getting a few hits just because I'm over there. So I might as well get some damage if I'm over there anyway. But I am going to go back to the right side. I'm going to clear the right side first, just so I've got that breathing space again. Clearing off those skeletons, clearing off those lava spawns, and back down to the middle one. So once you've cleared off one side, like I said before, kill the middle snake, and then you've got breathing time, breathing space. You can take your time, as you can see me doing here, just waiting behind that wall. Then I'm going to make my way over here. I'm going to finish off the last couple of snakes, and this turned into a very, very easy kill. So I'm just going to wait again behind the wall, wait for the last couple of projectiles, dashing in. There's my attacks, bam bam, wait for the ground pound. All 3 of them, dash in again, another couple of attacks, and the easiest kill of your life. Okay, here I am with a shield build now. The reason why this one is quite interesting is it displays another tactic which I found to be really successful, especially when killing Hydra's adds. So what you're going to do here is take a really powerful cast. Now I've gone for the one that Zeus gives you. It's the lightning one, and it deflects damage onto nearby enemies. So as you can see, I've absolutely just shredded these snakes just by using my cast. Now, it's a tactic that is almost cheating if you get a strong cast. It really does feel easy. So I'd recommend not doing it every single time. Give yourself a bit of a challenge. But if you want an easy kill and you get the Zeus one that pops up, for example, definitely take it and give it a go. Just make sure that you have all 4 of your casts, or in my case here 5 of your casts, ready for the 25% mark, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down and not even have them when you need them. So if you're going to go for a cast build, make sure you've got them for the adds, because this phase you don't even need to worry about your cast for just killing the Hydra head on her own. You want to save them for the adds. So make sure you've got them, make sure you're good to go, and you'll find yourself having a really easy and clean kill. And finally, here I am with the spear, again starting at 25%, and this was an overpowered build. If you've got the spear and you get Hunter's Dash, and you can get the crit with dash, so if you don't know how to do that, you charge up your spear and then you dash forward, and you're going to get those guaranteed crits on your spear spin attack. So again, just absolutely rinsing one side of the map. Going to clear out the others with no trouble at all. Don't really need to talk about how easy that was. Avoiding the projectiles and just doing exactly the same tactic. Wait for the 3 ground pounds, get my attacks in, hide behind the wall. Gonna wait for those missiles. Dodge in twice, charge up my spear, and bam. Again, just not taking damage, nice and safe. And there's the clean kill. There you have it, guys, all 4 weapons covered, and hopefully some tactics that are going to help you defeat the Hydra. If you like this video, drop me a subscribe, let me know what you think in the comment section. Until next time, guys, goodbye.